you doing, everybody? We are here. We are live. We're doing Mixing It Up. Overdrip is running a little late. Hopefully he comes on soon. But yeah, we're here. We got Steve. We got Sifu. And we're just shooting the shit and all that kind of stuff. How's everybody doing out there? For this episode, we were thinking about doing more or less, like, since it's the new year, people pick up new things at the beginning of the year and all that kind of jazz. And we're like, what do you do as a beginner DIY liquid maker? What would you want to do, or some recommendations and stuff? And hopefully we help wade you through all the BS and you make less mistakes than we did when we first started. I know I made a fuck ton of mistakes when I started like 4 or 5 years ago. And I bought a bunch of flavorings that to this day I barely have even touched. I'm sure they probably aren't even any good anymore. So we'll see. But yeah, we're gonna chat up about like how to get into some DIY and stuff like that. Let's jump into some what have I been mixing? Steve, what have you been up to, man?
Okay, so yeah, decided over the weekend that I needed to find myself a new MTL. All day for me at work. I needed something with some menthol because the stuff that I regularly vape is not menthol. So I wanted to have a menthol in there because I normally take 2 setups with me to work every day. So the first thing I made was I called it Desert Bloom. It's a cactus, prickly pear, mango-ish type of tropical vape with some menthol on the back end. Haven't tested it yet. I'm letting it steep a couple days. The one I just tested that was an absolute utter failure was this pineapple mango sweet tea. I made the mistake of using funky pineapple, and it is funky. So much so that I can't vape it. I've tried for the last 15 minutes.
Don't you like that one,
tastes
Sifu?
so bad, I
I
can't touch it.
like funky pineapple.
It's got a weird back end flavor.
Well, you got to combine them with the VSO.
Well, I didn't combine it with VFSO. It was Flavora, I think.
Mm.
I did use 2 pineapples, but I think I used too much of the funky pineapple.
Mm-hmm. It's a backer.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be because forward it's terrible.
Very it's almost floral actually.
And an update on last week's stream, the poinsettia I made, the orange cranberry champagne.
Mm-hmm.
A little too sweet for my liking. I used 0.5% of super sweet. Figured out that the cranberry cocktail I used is sweetened itself.
Yeah.
So it was a little too much for me. So I'm going to redo it after this bottle's done and drop it down to 0.25% super sweet and see where I like it. It's probably good for a lot of people. I'm just not a very sweet person. So we'll see. But it came out great. It settled down nice after steeping. It really did settle down nice. So I'm very happy with it. I just have to change how sweet it is. And that's about where I'm at right now. That was my week in review.
Nice. Okay, before Sifu goes, is the jalapeno more or less fruity then, or what? Is it more like a bell pepper? Since he's like, it's not a hot vape. So
I'm thinking pepper jelly, boy.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Chili jam. If anybody knows what that's from, dude, you're awesome.
Yes, jalapeno pops tonight. No, thank you.
Bring it on.
I'll stay.
I want to do a pepper jelly so bad.
I still have my VSO order to do too. So
Nice.
Yeah.
maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow. All right, Sifu, what you been mixing?
What I've been mixing, mostly just been, with the holidays and stuff and New Year, I didn't feel like doing much. I just didn't. I had a lot of orders to fill. For some reason, I got loaded up during the holidays. I actually ran out of VG. I had to run to my local store. Yesterday, I had off. So yesterday, I went to my local shop, and he used to carry DIY supplies. So I picked up a 500 mil that he had, and it's actually pretty good quality. It's essential.
Oh, essential oils, they do good work.
Yeah,
I know who
this
they
is
are.
good. Yeah, this is good quality stuff here.
Yeah, it's palm based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
and
the
I
vapor,
found.
the Gather Vaporing Lounge, whatever.
Mhm.
Mark, the guy that used to make the Warlock camera boxes, he also did liquid, and he used to use that VG.
Yep. And then also I picked up Flavora grape, Flavora peanut butter, and Flavora boysenberry. There you go.
Ooh,
So
boysenberry's good.
he's
The
got
peanut butter's good.
yeah. So he had a bunch. He's got a lot of. It was all Flavora and stuff there. So I kind of rumbled a little bit, and he gave me this. He gave me a drip tip. Look at this. Shiny. It's almost like platinum balls.
Ooh, dude,
Uh,
that's nice.
you know,
510.
uh, 810.
Oh,
Actually,
really?
that would look good on top of that B2B I have.
Yeah, so it was a productive trip, so that's good. I also sketched out Jesus cookie for all of you yo cool kids, a chocolate peanut butter cookie with jam. So I sketched that out. I've been talking with my boy Matt Stewart about it. He's the one that provided Grim the jellies. So I was picking his brain about the jellies and the jams. That's a profile I don't think I've ever really tried, like a real jam or jelly. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, and
It's
then
interesting to do. I
yeah,
wouldn't
and
say
then
that much.
Tim comes up with the jalapeno because that was in the back of my mind too, like jalapeno jelly, like a pepper jelly would be good. I want that. So that's more or less what I've been doing. Uh, my mix from last week was it actually worked out pretty good.
There
It was
it is.
there he is.
Yo.
Yo, there he is. So
Oh, what
it's
happened?
been nothing.
Oh,
Got
no.
you.
Sorry. We're good. We're good. We're good. My bad.
Okay.
Sorry. Carry on.
The Heresy Punch actually steeped out pretty well. There's a kind of a funky back note I've been getting on it, but it's still it's turning more and more into punch. It's getting a little more mouthfeel and stuff. So that's actually been overall pretty successful. But yeah, that's more or less what I've been doing. How about you? Are you ready to talk over drip? You need a minute.
Nah, I can talk. It's all good.
Yeah, let's tell us what you did this past week there, bro.
All right. So this past week, I actually don't think that I mixed anything this past week. I think that I enjoyed what I made last week actually. Even though I can't right now remember exactly what I made, I just know that I finished the bottle and I made notes. So I'm probably gonna mix that up sometime soon. Again, um, I think that that's it. I've just been like doing a bunch of planning and kind of hoping. I've also been like putting together an actual cart of concentrates that I am going to order. So that's pretty exciting because it's been a fucking while. Like honestly, it's been I want to say like the beginning of the summer since I got new concentrates. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's actually quite a few fruits on it, which is really weird for me. I honestly I rarely even shop for fruits. I feel like whatever I have is enough. So I'm excited for that. And that's kind of been what I've been doing when it comes to mixing. I've kind of been doing something else that has been taking up a lot of my time when I'm not working. Um, that's like kind of crypto related. So like I've not had the I've not had the energy outside of trying to grind and make some moves and that. So I'm excited for tonight. I don't haven't made anything yet, obviously, but I'm gonna make up something when somebody else is talking. So that's it for me. Has everybody went
No,
or is
I'm still left.
Still got clown
You
A.
Okay.
you made this work completely.
Yeah.
perfect?
uh, as far as mixing is concerned, personally, I haven't done anything either. I mean, I have some ideas. I have some stuff I want to revisit. It's just making the time to actually do it. Between work and the holidays and people getting sick at work and us having to pick up the slack for the people that are missing, is just kind of turned into a whole debacle on me actually caring to do anything beyond just surviving every day. So, um, other than that, I'm still gonna like revisit a couple of things, and I'm excited to try to like do stuff because I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but like every time, like with every passing month, I feel like the skills are still improving personally. At least I don't know. And so anytime I try to revisit old recipes, I look at them. I'm like, dude, what the fuck were you thinking? We're gonna make this.
Yeah,
better.
I'm definitely not getting worse. So I'll
Yeah.
agree with you there. I'm definitely not getting worse.
Funny.
But I will say, since Steve did revisit last week's recipe, I'll say mine actually the cranberry. No wait, no, that was 2 weeks ago. No, that chai actually ended up taking over the whole recipe. Like you can't taste anything other than just chai. So
Super. Okay.
yeah, it's super strong. So like I said, I might have to revisit that and separate some of the elements, and maybe actually try to do like a chai tea something or other. But it's a really strong flavoring. So if you guys are looking for a strong upfront chai, I highly recommend the VSO one. It's insanity on how like strong that flavor is. Alrighty, well that is it for me. Let's jump into some advertising here. Let you guys see from our sponsor, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Yeah, we're back. That minute went by quick. Okay, so beginner stuff. What we are gonna do for the most part is give like a quick list of like things we recommend for like a beginner, somebody that would want to get into DIY. I will say, I don't know. I'm putting this asterisk on my list. Yes, sometimes you don't want to spend money, but personally, I am to that level of just go ahead and spend the money, and you'll save yourself time and a headache. Because going cheap initially sometimes ends up hurting you more, and you end up spending more money trying to chase something. And if you could just find the quicker way to do it, just spend the extra couple of bucks. Honestly, personally, those are my thoughts and feelings on that. I don't know how you fellas feel on it, but I don't know.
No, I'm with you, and I made that. I actually followed that advice when I started because I did go right off the bat and get some VSO stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and VSO is expensive.
It is.
It is expensive compared to a lot of the other stuff that I have.
I feel like it's actually like
Cheap.
cheap.
Reasonably priced.
Okay, here's the thing. A lot of the more expensive stuff, since they're super concentrates, they go a long way. So even though you're
Right.
spending a lot more money, you're using a lot less. Because, like, let's put, like, vanilla custard from TFA or Capella, the original ones. You're using 2 to 3 times as much as you would from, like, a more current custard. So,
You think so? I don't know if
Yeah.
I would agree with that, but either way, they're definitely there's like really good concentrates to use less of these days. There's no doubt.
$6
Well, I mean, like-
for a 30 is not bad.
yeah.
in
Well, I
my
mean, think
opinion.
of, like, TFA custard 2. The vanilla custard 2. You use a lot less of that, and it goes a lot further. You get a lot more flavor. You don't have to use as much. Or at least those
See,
are
I'll
the
use
things.
that almost at the same percent,
Really?
like
Yeah.
a 2 to 3%. I'll
Mm,
use all those that you said at 3, but maybe that's just what I like. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh yeah, you're the custard guy. You go heavy on the custard.
No, but like I don't want to even say like that I'm the custard guy. Like you guys know how to mix, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like I do agree. There are some flavors that like you have to hammer the percentage to really get the point across of what you're trying to do. And
Mhm.
I know that that's definitely true. But I just find that VSO is not expensive. First of all, like to me, like Flavora, okay, I'll give you that.
Flavora
Flavora is
stupid
expensive.
expensive.
You know what I mean? When I hear people say that Wonder Flavor is expensive, I'm like, you need to get off your wallet. Okay, if you say that like Mullenberry is expensive, you need to get off your wallet. Even if you say like one-on-one is expensive, I'm like, it's really not that expensive.
Like, here's the thing: like Wonder Flavors, one-on-one, those tend to be a little bit more expensive than say Capella or TFA, but it's barely cents. Like Flavora, there's one flavor where for like I think a 120 of it, you're spending like $100 or some shit like that.
Pine strawberry.
Alpine strawberry is crazy, but dude, that's like that's an
That's
extreme,
that's
right?
high end though.
That's like just saying that like cars are expensive, but you're only giving them options of buying like a Tesla or like a Corvette.
No,
I think it's Flavora is what, $30 or 120. You know,
like you can make great recipes with just TFA and Capella. Like that's definitely possible.
Yeah, it is.
But you know what else like TFA and Capella have? A bunch of shit fucking concentrates. But guess what? So does everybody else. It's not like you pay, you know, $10 or whatever for Flavora and everyone's a banger. Some of Flavora's flavors aren't very good. You know what I mean?
Or they're not going to be to your liking.
But a lot of them are fucking fire. And you don't have to use very much. So I'm not saying that people should cheap out. I'm just saying that people have to know what they want. And I'm sorry, Sifu, I'm speaking over you.
No worries. Like, here's a good point from the chat. In the context of buying commercial liquid, no flavorings are really that expensive. So, yeah, there you go, Pam. Good call.
No, yeah, Pam got the point across there. Like that's the truth of it. Once you
But see, that's the thing though, you know, because there's like other companies, so I don't know what 5 Ponds is using, but people would always be like 5 Ponds is so expensive. Well, chances are 5 Ponds is not exclusively using like Flavor West and TFA.
Yeah.
Right? Because some of the profiles that they're trying to create, there's not even that option unless they're like completely, you know, making up their own concentrates from other concentrates to make them taste like something and then adding them to e-liquid. So it all depends. Like if you want to go somewhere and you want to get like Candy King or you want to get whatever, some other like real commercial, just like hot, sweet garbage. Yeah, they're going to have the shittiest concentrates. But it also doesn't mean that like they're all bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that what people need to realize is like, don't get caught up in the prices of stuff. If you think that it looks good and you read a bunch of ratings and it's good, give it a shot. You know, don't let it be like, oh, this is $9 for a 30 ml bottle. Don't think of it that way. If you're going to spend $100, you're going to be able to get stuff that you can make stuff for yourself. That's what 4 bottles of commercial liquid
is about. We're going to help narrow you into a little window. You can be confident to go spend a little extra money on something that you know is proven and good.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, I went cheap, not cheap as in price wise, but cheap as in when I was first feeling out how I wanted to do things. I bought 10 mils. You know, at $2-3 a pop.
That's a good way to go.
You can get 15 liquids for barely anything. You can try them. If you like them, next time you order a 30 mil. But to start out, the 10 mils work because you're using barely anything. Barely anything. It's a little bit here and there. You get a 10 mil, like the one I did tonight. I think the most I used was 1.2 grams and something. That's it. Which is basically a mil.
Whenever you find those recipes that you like, then you can stock up.
Yeah, then you can adjust your buying to the ones you're going to use all the time and how much you're using of it.
Look at madman.
Yeah, and that's the other one. I mean, if you're just doing for yourself, even a 10 mil will last you quite a long time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, unless you're getting carried away on like, I think that's another thing too. Like a lot of people, when you first start, like myself included, you know, I started like 4+ years ago, I guess now. And when I started, like number one, like a lot of the vapes weren't that good. Number two, like it took me a couple of years of not smoking cigarettes to really get my flavor back, like my tasting ability back. And I quit smoking. It'll be 6 years this month.
Oh, okay.
So it's been a while, but at the same time, like it took me a while to get back to normal. And I would use higher percentages, but I also didn't really know what I was doing. There wasn't like as much information out there. There was like very few things. Like you could catch some information from Fresh, but it wasn't like as it's been, over the last 4 years. It was not as often, and like you had to know about it before you found out about all the knowledge that he had, and plus the fact it's like he's like everyone. As people grow and do things longer, they get more accomplished at it, and they also get better. But when I first started, it was nothing for me to throw 5% of something in a mix. Like it was nothing for me to have like an 18 to 25% mix. Now that also kind of led me to have a bunch of really fucking terrible mixes, but at the same time, like you need to learn those lessons, right? Like I had to learn them that way. Nowadays, and I say that like I'm some old grizzled veteran fucking DIYer, but like nowadays there's so much more information that is really easy to find. It's not just going to ELR. There's like so many different things. There's multiple mixing shows. There's just people that are in the hobby. There's Facebook groups. There's so much more that's been built up over the last 4 years that you really have an opportunity to learn from people. And I've always been a huge fan of when I'm learning something, I like to at least surround myself to some level with people that know what I'm trying to do, just so I can pick their brain and just so I can understand like what they're thinking when they're doing it. So I can get into that mindset, and then B, I can kind of pick up some of the things that they're doing, like some of their tricks, and see if they work for me. Right. And I think that that's what a lot of people that are trying to get into DIY really need to like take the time and think about exactly what they're trying to get out of it. You can't just like go into it with the idea of like, oh, I need to save money and I'm going to make my own liquid and everything I make is going to be good enough for me to vape. If you think that, that's good on you. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to make a bunch of fucking garbage if you're not following other people's recipes.
No, yeah. I mean, well, like you were saying, I've been doing this for roughly 5 to almost 6 years, because I know I started shortly after meeting my wife, because I was bargain bin diving, and that was just awful.
It was gross.
Yeah, she could tell you. And I remember like there were some DIY videos on YouTube, but they were very poorly done. The information was bad. I mean, most of them recommended that you started at 5% flavoring on everything and then work your way up, which that just sounds really weird and wrong, like by today's standards, but back then that's all they had. And I mean, even sweeteners was 2% and up, and so there wasn't a lot of information. I mean, I remember when Wayne first came on the scene and things like that, and watching his channel grow over the years and things like that. It's just insane how much more information we have now versus then. And it is like Chris said, if you're not following other people's recipes or even just advice, like that's like one thing, like watching Fresh's shows or like even hanging out with him like in the videos and stuff. Like I've been in his lives. He gives you so much information that just rewatch it until you have something down, because you will learn about so many different things or how many things play with each other. I mean, Sifu, so I like watching him talk about mixing, because he gets into like the juicer and all the terminology and stuff. But a lot of it is very helpful, and this is more paying attention to those little things that people mentioned throughout like all these things. Or I mean, like again, DIY Facebook groups. You could seriously jump in there at any time and be like, hey, I'm looking for a particular flavor for this. Any recommendations? And you'll at least get 20 comments on that one post telling you what you could do and what it will mix with, what it won't mix with. It gets to a point where you can actually pull off quite a bit. But again, it just does fall on to don't hold onto your wallet so tightly, because in the end, if you cheap out initially, you end up spending double the money for no reason. when people give you advice and you can just get good stuff right off the bat nowadays. All right. With that being said, we have like a recipe that we're gonna do, and we even came out with like a couple of flavorings that we could recommend and stuff like that. Sifu, you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. I might have went a little overboard. I'm not. All right. So I released it to the public. It's called Seafood's Beginner Mix, Beginner List, and we'll see if anyone gets zinged for these. It's gonna be fun. So basically, if you click on it, I have some tried and trues that I've used a lot and had very good success with. No particular order. Acetylpyrrolizine is something that most people should have. Banana custard from BTA. The Bavarian cream from Wonder Flavors is just game changer. The VSO blueberry, the bourbon from Wonder Flavors, another game changer. A staple in everyone's cupboard should be the cheesecake graham crust from TFA.
Oh, I forgot that one. Yeah.
Coconut extra, TFA. Everyone should, if you're gonna have a coconut, get coconut extra. Use sparingly, but coconut extra. The country apple from Beryllium has taken over Fuji for me. Cream from Lavora, another super useful flavor. Cream milky undertone, 1-on-1, awesome. A new favorite, creamy sponge cake from Flavor West. The custard cheat code, custard premium from FA, is now available in the States. Everyone should own that one, in my opinion. Double apple from Capella, fig from VSO, forest fruits, FA, glamour chocolate, Molenberry, the honey from VSO, the honey peach from Jungle Flavors, honeycomb BTA, huckleberry, VSO, island mango, Wonder Flavors, Kentucky bourbon, TFA, lemon from Flavor Express. You can all thank Uncle Chris for that one. Light rum from BTA, I use so much. Marshmallow and meringue, that's my trick for a good candy shell. 1% of each works awesome. The Nanaimo bar from Wonder Flavors, also baller. Raspberry syrup, orange juice premium from Flavor Art. Fuchsia vanilla, soft banana, mullenberry. The red touch strawberry from Flavor Art, super sweet, is something also. Sweet guava vanilla cookie from Flavor Art. Capella vanilla custard. Gelato Vanagila from Flavor Art, I think is the best ice cream that I've ever used in anything. It's just
That one is
amazing.
a good one.
And for tobacco, the vanilla Rouyan custard from Wonder Flavors and vanilla swirl from TFA. So along with those, I kind of put a little list of where I get my bases and stuff. I usually get my VG from Bull City. I get my PG from Bull City when it's in stock. Otherwise, I usually buy from Glycerin suppliers. I prefer the stuff from Bull City, but sometimes Bull City runs out. So those two have been very crucial for me. Like just the Bull City and Glycerin suppliers ship quick, they're packaged well, good stuff. For nicotine, as of this writing, Perfect Vape is still selling. If you're buying in small quantities, Carolina Extract is a good one, but they are very expensive, very, very expensive. VG or PG is a personal choice. It doesn't matter. So, I'm in the habit of using VG because I use it, and we've discussed this ad nauseum, but I'm not going to go back into it. If you're going to store long term, amber glass with a polycone cap from Amazon. Personally, these days, I've been liking using the 120 size because I drip out of a 120 bottle. So whenever this empties, you open the cap once, you pour the whole thing in here, and then you can rewash it and then use it again. That way you're not going into a bigger bottle, opening it, pouring some out, waiting for it to defrost.
Mm-hmm.
Then you pour it out, then you recap it, then you refreeze it, then you go get it again. So the less times you're getting into that bottle, the longer your nicotine is going to last, Yep. So that's just a little tip from what I've been doing. For a scale, the Liquid Born, not Liquid Born. Liquid Born used to carry this scale. The LB501 on Amazon. It's back in stock. It's a good one. That's this guy right here. The LB501. It's right around $50. Just get it. It works fantastic. Bottles is a little tougher. I use these Yorker style bottles. This is a 200 mil. This is a 120. But I dispense a lot. So these are less messy than the Sriracha top. They pour better. They're less messy, and they just dispense better. They've worked very well for me. And you can get them in 30, 60, 120, 200s. And then you can actually get them in 500 milliliter and 1 liter for VG and PG. They work really, really well. I have a description of where to get them in my post. Trimbox Plastics on Amazon. Just don't drop them.
Sifu was not kidding that he wrote a manifesto. Like, holy fucking
We
shit.
taking over a nation.
So for
Marching orders
chubby,
for military.
yeah, for finished products, for finished mixes, I use the chubbies from Bull City. All right.
Yeah.
Here's a tip for the pros. Okay, so if you want to get a larger quantity, like a case of 100, they're not really advertised on Bull City. So if you go to the bottles and you click on the bottle and you scroll down, and it'll say more like this, and down there you can get a case of 60s or 120s of chubbies.
Yep.
And Bull City is fast and cheap, and they just work. For labels, I use the
Avery.
the Avery 2x3s, which is basically the same thing that the liquid houses use. These are colors, but I print in black and white. And if you get the weatherproof film, they'll last forever. They won't ever mess up.
And for a label maker?
For that, I use a printer. I use a LaserJet printer for mine because these labels need a LaserJet.
Yeah, they do.
Avery
in my
does
opinion,
have ones that waterproof ones that do inkjet.
no, they smear.
They do. I know they smear, but they do have them. That's why I
Yeah.
don't use them. I just use the regular.
Yeah.
But the thing about a LaserJet, about a laser printer, is that the toner cartridges are expensive, but they last 1,000 times fold than an inkjet cartridge. You're going to save a lot more money. You're going to spend $80 for a cartridge, but it'll last for a year.
Especially if you're just doing liquid bottles.
Yeah, miscellaneous things. Okay, this is just, so what I do is that I'll take a Sharpie on a bottle and put a clear piece of plastic packing tape over it to label it. There's no need to get paper labels to do that. So you need lots of paper towels. You need alcohol hand sanitizer. Your hands are going to get sticky. And one good miscellaneous thing is these racks from Amazon.
polish.
All right, these are for fingernail polish. They're right around $14, and
They come very in handy.
they're super handy. Like, this is a great way to store your stuff. But all of this is all extra stuff. But you can, any combination of any of those things will get you started real nice, like real nice. So that's basically my manifesto. I was nothing to watch last night, and late by again, I just started on it, and it kind of got a little out of control. So apologies for that. But I released this to ELR, and you can get more detail there. You want to talk about the mix, or we'll make the round and then come back to the mix?
That's your call at this moment. I mean, if you're done talking,
You have the floor. If you want to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the mix, out of the flavors that I listed, I am going to make a raspberry cheesecake, and I called it Easy Razzy Cheesy. It's going to be 1% of Bavarian Cream Wonder flavors, 3% cheesecake graham crust, 1% of forest fruit, and 2% of raspberry syrup from SSA, and 0.5% of super sweet. So there you go. It's going to be, it should be, I'm familiar with all these flavors, and this should be pretty good, hopefully. So there you go. Who's ready for their, Chris, you ready? All right,
Yeah,
Overdrip.
sorry. Excuse me.
Overdrip, take it away.
Okay, so I really have virtually nothing to say compared to Sifu, so
Same here.
it's going to seem like I didn't say anything. But a lot of what Sifu said is great information. Clearly, you know, he kind of went overboard, and for someone that's just getting into mixing, like, take whatever Sifu said, cut it in half, then cut it in half again, and you're probably set.
I feel like nicotine, PG, VG are kind of a given, but at least he gave you some options on where to get them.
Yeah, and like, I mean, like, the one thing that Sifu did do, which, I mean, I do respect him for it, but at the same time, he made it impossible for anybody that's getting into this to figure out where the fuck you get everything that he said, because you can't get all those at one store.
I listed where to get them in my post.
Yeah.
Yes, but what I'm just saying, like, who's gonna fucking order from like 5 different stores? They're gonna spend more money on shipping than if they just ordered everything from Bull City. Now, you did all the work, and I think that you should be applauded for it. I'm not trying to take away from it. I'm just literally saying.
Hey, you said there was no budget. Like,
no, you're good. You're good, Seafood. Yeah. There's no need to. You don't have to defend it. It was like well done. I just was letting people know that, like, you don't have to go that crazy.
Yeah. One thing Seafood did miss.
People.
If you're not comfortable handling nicotine right the fuck away, get some gloves. Like, legit, because you don't want that on your hands. Because if it gets on your hands, that sick that you get is not that fun. I want to make it funny, but it's not that fun. I've got
no. It's actually fucking terrible. It feels gross. You feel like you're gonna die.
Like, have you ever
been there, done that? I wish I didn't have the T-shirt. You know,
50 milligram pod system, and you just started like just chucking away at it, and you started feeling that weird rumble in your tummy. Imagine that, but just throughout your whole fucking body. It's awful.
Exactly. Yeah. It feels like your heart's gonna explode.
Danger. Using 100 milligrams.
So yes, everybody be safe. But that's like anything. If I'm going to tell anyone one thing in my life, it's like, whenever you're doing something, just think it out. Be a little bit safe. I mean, there's no problems being safe.
Nope.
You know, sometimes yes, you have to like push your limits, and yet, but not when it's actually dangerous shit. You know what I mean? Like, just be smart, or at least try to be. Okay, so now that it seems like I just shit on Sifu, which I didn't, for the record, I'm going to say what I'm going to mix. And I didn't prepare anything like Sifu, because I also, like, I thought we were just doing a beginner mix. I didn't think that we were like going through everything, so I didn't really be prepared. The one thing I will say is that I would be doing my fellow countrymen a disservice if I didn't say. So there's a few places that I buy from in Canada. One is Dash Vapes. I get my nicotine from them. Well, I used to get my nicotine from them. Now I don't, because it's only 20 milligram nicotine. So I just saved up, and well, I didn't save up. I bought a bunch before the law went in place. July 1st is like in 2021. So you can still get it from there, and I recommend their nicotine is good. It's just, unfortunately, you have a 20 milligram nicotine cap. So you're going to have to buy more of it, but it'll completely do the job. I buy some bottles from there if I ever need them, like real quick or on short notice, because they do $35 free shipping. So it's definitely a place that's pretty good. I also have gotten a lot of concentrates from them over the past. I kind of wore myself out on what they had. And then I started ordering from other places as well. As once I got more connected in the community, there was more options available to me, because people are like, hey, go here. So another place I actually saw that Pam put it in the chat, Fusion Flavors. I've ordered from there. They're pretty good. They sell nicotine as well, but it's 20 milligram because that's the law. You can get bottles from them cheaper than Dash Vapes, but the shipping is, I think it's like free shipping after $75. So I mean, it's like a give or take. I also get all of my VG and PG from Dash Vapes just because, once again, it's simple, it's easy, it's cheap, and it's free shipping after $35. So, like, if you buy like 10 bottles and like a liter of VG and a liter of PG, like you're pretty much at that mark. So you get the free shipping. Also, secret, if you put something in your cart at Dash Vapes and leave it there for 2 days, they send you a 10% off coupon code. You should do that. Another place that I've spent over $1,000 at in like the last year is DIY e-juice. That's what it is. It's like DIYejuice.com. It's like an outfit that's in British Columbia. So if you live anywhere probably east of like Saskatchewan, you're gonna end up waiting a while for it. I think that they just hate people from Ontario, so they take a really long time to ship it to me. But it gets to me in like a week and a half, and they have so many flavors. They have thousands. Like if you wanted to get any of the real flavor stuff, they have every single real flavors concentrate available. They have all the big brands, including like Wonder flavors. They have pages and pages of Wonder flavors. They have pages and pages of One-on-One, of Vape Train Australia. They have Mullenberry. They have all these flavors. I think they have over 1,000 on their site. So I definitely recommend going there and checking out what they have, because the options they're bigger than anywhere else that I've seen in Canada. It's kind of like Canada's version of Bull City, is what I would say. Like you can go there, you can get just tons of different stuff. So I'd recommend them. I think that they have like a free shipping if you spend $100, but like let's be real. I fucking spent $100 in a second there because I have a problem. You too could be like me one day if you guys get into it. So that's what I'm going to say for Canadian sites that you guys can get the opportunity to buy from. Now I will mention what I'm mixing tonight. So because it's supposed to be something that's like simple-ish, I decided that I've never actually done this before, just this simple. So we'll see if it's good or not. I decided I was just going to make a vanilla ice cream. Um, and so like I'm going more on the Italian ice cream, not Italian ice, but like Italian ice cream. So I'm using 5 flavors. One of them super sweet. My mix is called "You're So Vanilla, Bruh," and it's it's up on ELR if you guys want to check it out. So I am using 0.5% of super sweet, vanilla gelato Italian SC from Wonder Flavors at 1.5%. I'm using vanilla ice cream gelato vaniglia, or I think that's how you say it. Vaniglia. Maybe it's vaniglia. What Sifu actually had on his list. It is the best ice cream, in my opinion. I'm using that at 2%. Then I'm using vanilla Tahiti, vaniglia. Yeah, I can't do it. I wish I could. I'm using vanilla Tahiti from Flavor Art, just to add a little bit more vanilla at 1%. And then I'm using Vienna Cream from Flavor Art at 0.5%. And the reason why I'm using that is just to like give a little bit more balance, a little bit more well-rounded ice cream. I don't want it to be like too much, considering I doubled up on like a gelato, like a vanilla gelato. So I wanted to just kind of like help smooth things over. And also I really like the way that Vienna Cream tastes from Flavor Art. So that's why I also put it in there. The one thing I will say about that one though is off the shake, it's kind of, I wouldn't never say unpleasant, but it's like very apparent. It's very apparent, and it settles, and it gets into like more of this like nice light creaminess. So be forewarned. If you get that, the flavor tastes amazing, but it needs like a day to sit before it really starts to taste the way that it's supposed to taste. So yeah, this should be simple. It's at 5.5%. Like, so I guess ultimately I have 5% flavoring in here, and yeah, that's it. That's what I'm gonna mix. I guess I should get to it. So I'm gonna Oh, Sifu hasn't said what he's mixing. Oh, he did. Steve,
No, I
please.
didn't yet.
No, I know that you didn't, but I couldn't remember if Steve had, but then he did. I forgot.
Okay, well, I went simple, very simple. As far as a list, there are a few things that I found from messing around that seem to help me out. There are basics that I think anybody should get right off the bat, solely because more likely than not, most people are dessert vapors. So there are things that are pretty staple for doing any type of dessert, especially if you're doing pie crusts and cookies and stuff like that. Um, the apple pie from Capella, it's not much apple. It is a good base for a crust.
Mm-hmm.
You get a nice flaky pie crust out of it. You just don't get a ton of apple. So if you're looking for a crust, that one's probably great if you're going to do just one thing to give your crust, just to start out. My crust usually end up being 2 or 3 different kinds of cookies and biscuits and all kinds of stuff. So for just one, that one works well. Lemon Sicily. Lemon Sicily is just a great lemon flavor all around for any type of lemon thing. And it can even make other lemons pop. So if you like lemon, that's a good one to have. The one a lot of people stay away from because they think colada means menthol. Colada doesn't mean menthol. It doesn't even mean iced if you use it sparingly.
Mm-hmm.
But in a tea mix for an iced tea or something, it can cool it off to seem like it has ice in it without it being this menthol kick in your throat. And then Sifu already said the Vienna cream from FA. That thing's just great for rounding out flavors. Even fruit flavors, if you use just a little bit of it, it softens it enough that it makes it nice and round. Yeah. Oh, one thing he missed that I learned from him: ergon gas for wine making. When you freeze your nicotine, you fill it up to almost the very top of that neck. You leave a little bit of gap, 2 little squirts of ergon gas, and you seal it up. It eats the oxygen out of the air inside and stops it from having any kind of effect on the nicotine. And the mix I did was real simple. I went with a very simple lemon meringue pie. So it's real basic. I used the graham cracker pie crust from Wonder Flavors at 0.75%. I used lemon meringue pie V2 from Capella at 4%. The reason being, it's a good meringue. It's a fairly nice crust in it. Again, you don't get a lot of lemon out of it. So I add lemon Sicily from FA at 0.75%. And then I'm not one for super sweet stuff, so I only did super sweet at 0.25%. So it ends up being, 5.75% in flavoring. But overall, it should be just a simple lemon meringue pie, nothing special, no added bells and whistles. Just if you're looking for something to start out with, it's 4 flavors. They're usable in other stuff if you get other flavors. And so we'll see how this one turns out.
Awesome.
And I guess it's your turn.
Alrighty. So behind the scenes right now, I do have a Google Doc that I did like a long time ago, and I've tried my best to update it with the times, because either some of those sites don't exist, some of those some things don't you can't get anymore, or whatever, yada yada yada. So while everybody was throwing their suggestions around, I did go through Sifu's list and added a couple of things that he had mentioned because they weren't on there. It will be down in the description if you guys want to go check that out. There are website links and things like that, and there are different suggestions for flavorings, for bottles, for scales. Because I added the scale that Sifu suggested. The scale I have, which is this guy, they're like $10. It just depends on what your budget is on the scale. And I'll be
Yeah,
honest,
I
like,
think I have the same one.
yeah, but I mean, these guys, the last one I had lasted me like 3-4 years almost.
This
So
thing works great.
yeah, you just got to make sure they go to .01. Like they gotta say that right there when it comes to
Yeah.
scales, because if not, your mixing becomes kind of a little bit of a pain in the ass. But so there is a list down below, a link to a Google Doc, and if you guys want to check that out for anything, suggestions and such things. But beyond that, there is actually, if you guys go to ELR, there is a page which I'm gonna have to add to the list now that I mentioned it. But there is a page where they have discount
Vendors.
codes to almost every website that they have on there. And they have like, even they have European sites, they have Canadian sites, American sites, and they have discount codes for each one of them. Or they give you suggestions on like, if you order so much, you get free shipping. They have like all that kind of set up on there. So it's a good place for information when it comes to trying to get discounts and things like that. Alrighty, as far as like my flavoring list, because I didn't think about the manifesto. I want to start off with Vanilla Custard 2 from TFA. Personally, I like it. I just think it's a great improvement from other stuff, even though like anything else really works amazing. I like the Wonder Flavors custard. I like the Vanilla Custard 2 from Capella and all that, but I've been really gravitating more to the TFA Vanilla Custard 2. Sifu already mentioned this, but the Country Apple from Perillum is amazing. Just really, really good stuff. If you're looking for like a great apple like pie kind of something or other, like filling, use the apple filling from Favora. Personally, that's like one of my favorites. I use it in drunken apple cakes, and in that one, the way I ended up doing it, it makes for like a great apple fritter. Sweet guava, for me it's just more because Sifu always suggests a good guava as a juicer, and honestly, yeah, it really helps on a couple of mixes here and there, so always good one to go to. If you're trying to do like a milkshake type thing, the mullenberry one, just it's an amazing base. I've tried a couple others and that one's my favorite. I've noticed the other ones that I've tried, they tend to like go really weird and chalky after a while, as where the mullenberry does not. Then for lemonades, the Wonder Flavor lemonade, amazing. Then
The mullenberry one also has like a really nice malt to it.
yeah,
It's like a
it
malted
does.
milkshake.
Yes, exactly. Then this one's just because it's one of my favorites, the blueberry jam from Capella. I like using that one if like I'm trying to do like a blueberry pie or something like that. Or there's one of my recipes is a blueberry crumble, and that one I use that one. That's one of the main flavors in that, and just changed completely the profile. It made it so much better. Then Sifu mentioned this one was the Bavarian cream from one of the flavors, just amazing. Then this one mostly because I tried it and I really fell in love with it, but it's the blackberry mojito from Flavor West. Just really loved it off the bat. Just made really good. I'm still trying to figure out that mojito recipe, but that flavor is for sure just at the center of it. It's just more trying to figure out the menthol part where I'm still struggling with. And then the bourbon, which Sifu already mentioned as well from Wonder Flavors. So those are my flavors, at least my 10 suggestions. I did try to like incorporate more fruit and things like that, but I was just like shit for that. I kept going to desserts, so that's just where I'm at. As far as my recipe goes, I made an apple bourbon custard. So we did apple filling from Favora, bourbon from Wonder Flavors, country apple from Perillum, and the custard V2 from Capella with a little bit of super sweet, which I will say it's more or less of a given, but do try to get a sweetener. I fought it for years, and I fought it for years, and I fought it for years, and I've come to the dark side, and it is one of those things of just
You just come to the side.
yeah,
Like
just come
the
to
other
the
side
side.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And well, here's the thing. At least if you use sweeteners in a more sparing manner versus just trying to dump it in there, it will boost your flavor profiles. Like the super sweet, like Sifu mentioned this months ago, but super sweet just brings out things and flavors and stuff that you're like, holy shit. And if you take off the flavoring, or if you try, like, I like the Wonder Flavors one just because it adds sweetness, but it doesn't make it inherently sweet. That one, it works differently, and then if you were to do the same recipe and then switch it to super sweet, it changes a whole thing. Certain things pop at you, it just makes for a world of difference. As far as sweeteners go, those are the only two I could recommend. The other ones I've tried, they're kind of meh, I'll be honest. And then I still got to try that one that Sifu kept mentioning to me, but I keep forgetting to get the VTA one, Supermate.
Yeah, the sweet mate.
Yeah.
the sweet mate.
But yeah, those are mine, and that's my recipe. I'm already vaping it because I got impatient earlier and I just mixed it.
Yeah.
I did the same thing while y'all were talking.
Yeah.
I just mixed mine, got it out of the way.
So I've been vaping it for a minute now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm extremely happy. This came out pretty good. Like the custard is a back end, which I'm okay with. We'll see how this steeps out. But for now, this is really good.
I like the V2. A lot of people shit on the V2, and I do like
The
Capella
TFA
V2.
custard V2.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said Capella. My bad.
Oh
But
no, yeah, I like the Capella one.
Also, just for the
Dude,
record,
I use that for
it's
years.
called TFA Vanilla Custard 2.
Yeah,
There's no
I.
V2, so
Yeah.
don't put that in. You'll get Zen.
You'll
Second
get
of all,
Zen.
you won't find it if you're trying to find it
Yeah.
on a website.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
even know how to make that.
I.
It's like the Roman numeral 2,
Yeah,
but that's how what it is.
yeah. You just do I, capital
I.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
more or less. Yeah.
Okay. There you go. More you know. It is really good. It is really good.
Mhm.
It basically like made TFA like vanilla custard, the original one. I don't use it anymore. I
Mhm.
have a 120, and I just don't really use it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not because it's bad. I just think that TFA 2 tastes better.
It cut on the steep time heavily. That was one thing because the original TFA one does have a bit of a steep.
Well, it's
and-
like Cap V1, man. It's like a month.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta wait for that shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Tastes
Again,
good though.
things have improved over the years. Where like we used to sit around and wait for days on a mix, and for the most part nowadays we mix something and vape it right away and already have an idea of where it's gonna go. Sometimes it's right off the bat. Sometimes you're like, yeah, I gotta give it a day or two. But it used to be 3 weeks minimum on a mix. So, like,
You know what though? It's so strange about that. Like, it's funny you said that. Like, I still find myself in those habits. I will try it and I'll enjoy it, and then I'm like, no, you can't trust this.
You got to go
You can't
sit.
trust this.
Yeah. Go to the corner.
Even though I know all, like, most of the time, like if I'm waiting on something like that, I know what the concentrates are gonna do, but you don't really know what they're gonna do together, right?
Yeah.
And that's like the thing, because some things, what in time, like they'll start to like, you know, get a little bit more bold, or they'll start to fade. There's like all these different things. Like there is some like worth to, you know, not finishing a bottle, but at the same time, you are right. There is more things now that you can mix and like give it 48 hours, and it's probably not going to change that much. You're getting like 90% of the way.
well, it's like being a dessert guy in the DIY world like 5 years ago was more or less a death sentence because you had to pre-plan everything.
Dude, that's what that honestly, dude, when I was like developing my vanilla custard, I used to fucking make like 6 versions, wait a month. And then I would be like, okay, and then I'd make like 4 new versions of tweaks.
Yeah.
Wait a month. I think it took me like 6-7 months to come up with it just because of the waiting time. I probably could have done it in a month, but it was just all that fucking waiting. Like you're just like, oh my god, just kill me.
That's why I always wanted to try fruits, but I could never do anything that I liked. And I am a dessert guy. I'm sorry, but it just falls into that. I'll try fruit any day, but just now, desserts make me happy. Alrighty. I don't know. We're kind of rounding out the end of the show here, and Chris is still shaking away. Sifu, have you gotten to try your mix?
Yes, I have. Just proven flavors work. You know, it's simple and good. I mean, the cheesecake graham takes a little minutes to come up, but I'm familiar with that note and I know where it sits in the mix. You know, once you start playing with these flavors, you kind of get an idea of where you should always try your mix right off the shake, and then you let it go and then come back to it. You know, but so whenever you're developing stuff, you know where it sits and how it tastes when it's young and how it's going to wake up. So I'm very happy with the way this came out. The raspberry is nice. It's not too floral or anything. It's just a nice solid raspberry. The raspberry syrup is still good on its own. Just the backing of the forest fruit just kind of juices it up a little bit, and the berry and plum from on the flavors is just good. It's just good. So yeah, I'm very, very happy with this for a simple mix. So yeah, it's good. How about you, Steve? How'd you mix?
Oh, it's pretty good. It's lemon meringue. Adding the lemon Sicily did what it's supposed to. It gives you that little bit of lemon that the lemon meringue pie V2 is lacking. Um, and then of course the graham cracker crust I added is going to take a day or two to fully evolve. But other than that, it's a true lemon meringue pie. It's good. It's a straight out, just mild. It's not an overly sweet dessert. It's you get the tang from the lemon, which is what I was looking for because I really love lemon, so I like to taste the lemon. I don't want it hidden in the back. I really want to taste it, but it's not overpowering. It's not only lemon that you taste. You get a pretty decent balance of everything on it.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
it worked out pretty well. But I've made this before, something close to it. It's something that I started with when I first started a couple months ago. Just trying to take something that's already supposed to have its flavor and try it and see where it needs to go from there. So yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yep. Awesome.
I mean, today I would, for me now, this is a perfect base. Now it would be, how can I tweak this to bring out the meringue more? How could I tweak this to do this, to do that, to make it something more? But it's quite vapable.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to vape this all the time. It's not bad. Welcome back.
On the point that you just made, if you're starting out, keep it simple, stupid. That's all I gotta say. Don't try to like add a million things into a recipe. Try to learn your flavors and keep it as simple as possible. Like personally, I try to keep it at like 5 to 6 flavors max. If I could do less, cool. If I could keep it at 6, cool. Sometimes I do go a little heavier than that. It just depends, but I do try to keep it as simple a recipe as possible. Just because if not, a lot of flavors get lost. I mean, when I was doing the lychee custard, I asked Sifu for some advice, and he seriously gave me this long list of what I was doing wrong, and I was like, you know what? He's right. I'm going too far with this, and it's just making flavors hide, and everything just gets muted, and it's just bad. So always keep that in mind.
Excuse me.
How's your recipe, Chris?
Let me take a sip, and then let me take one more toot. For everybody out there, if you guys want one of these bottles, hit up Ashton because they're fucking dope.
He was in chat earlier.
Yeah, some in there. Yeah, I gotta take one more toot because I just rewicked this like when I first got in here. So even though the cotton that I use doesn't really have a break-in time, I still just want to give it one more toot.
Cotton break-in time.
Okay, here's the deal. It's a legit vanilla ice cream. It's good. I like it. I think that if you like vanilla ice cream and you wanted to use some of these really expensive flavors that I put out there, because I got some flavor art and I got some wonder flavors in there. So look out. It's probably gonna cost you about 60 cents worth of flavorings, but if you, like I said, if you like vanilla ice cream, I think that you'd like this. Like, I know that this is going to get better, but right now there's like a nice amount of vanilla and the creaminess is there. It's just not quite that full body creaminess that I know that after 48 hours is probably going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And it might actually be pretty hard for me not to just vape it.
Yeah.
I might just vape it. We'll see what happens. I know that I'm not going to finish this 30 ml bottle today, so I'll at least get to know what it's like after, 20 hours.
I actually like seeing the flavors develop, like as they're steeping and stuff. I don't know. I'm a weirdo like that.
Dude, you know what's so weird? Like, maybe this is just me. It's probably not, but
No, probably not.
if like, so this, for example, right here, if I like take this setup tomorrow, right, and I take this setup and I vape it, that first vape in the morning, even just like the cotton being like one with the flavor overnight and like that first drip, it'll instantly pop harder than it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly. And it's got to be just like a little bit of oxygen, because I'll always vape 2-3 mils, because I'll end up vaping this probably for the rest of this evening.
Yeah.
And I also don't sleep much, so like I'll be vaping it until like 2-3 a.m. And then when I get up tomorrow, I probably won't vape it until I get home from work, because I try not to take tubes to work because I dropped like 3 in a week and ruined them. So I decided that I was just gonna take I take a Vandy Vape Gore 21 because it's just like my work banger. And I probably won't put this Addy on it, but I know that tomorrow when I get home, this will taste even better. So I'm going to start off the game changer chat. I am going to give mine a 4 game changer mix
Wow.
because it tastes good, dude. It's like legit vanilla ice cream. I know it's going to get better. So I'm giving it a 4. I'm not like pulling back and giving it a 3.5 or a 3. It's getting a 4. 4, baby.
Sifu?
Whoever wants to go next with the game changers, by
Sifu
all
froze
means.
on us. How about you,
He's
Steve?
back.
He's up bad right now. Before I crap out, 3 for me. Like it's solid. It's a good start. Just cheesecakes need more stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And this is a good, simple, good cheesecake. You're gonna be happy with it. But just for me personally, you know, I want a little bit more middle. I want a little bit more rust. I want a little more things that I didn't really put on my list. So that's how it goes for me. How about you, Steve?
Same for me. It's going to be a 3. It's a good base. It's quite vapable. It's tasty. I could vape it. I'll kill this bottle. That's not going to be difficult. But I'd always want to do more to it. I'd want to build it up a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to bring a little bit more out of it. But for just a base to start with, it's nice. I don't have any complaints with it.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna go on the Chris route here, and I'm gonna go with a 4. Just like it's solid. It's great. I know that custard hasn't fully developed, but it's there, and I can taste it. And right now it's a back note, but I know once it's fully steeped out and everything, it'll just be solid across the board the way I like it. Alrighty. With that all being said, let's say our goodbyes and stuff. Steve, you want to start us off?
Yeah. Again, this show was about, getting started, which I just did not a couple months ago. And I did exactly what they suggest. Surround yourself with people who have been doing it. Pay attention, take little notes here and there, especially flavors. If there's a flavor that you like and they rave about it, then it's probably a good one to try. And like I said,
Lemon Express, everybody. Lemon Express. Or lemon from Flavor Express. Sorry.
Like I said, was just, I got 10 mils of most everything I got to start off, just to try it. Just flavors that people said were good, things that they used in mixes that were good, especially with Chris and his mullenberry chocolate.
Fire.
I went out and got that right away, and it's an absolute great chocolate. And I'm not a big chocolate vape person, but the stuff I have played with it, it's definitely helped. I've been working since I started almost on a tiramisu. And I've mixed that mullenberry chocolate in with the double dark that I use. And it made a world of difference in what I'm building. So yeah, just take it slow, take it steady, be smart about it. And there's going to be failures. Don't get discouraged. I just made one Sunday that I absolutely can't vape. I tried 4 or 5 puffs and I can't do it. I just can't do it. So yeah, you're going to have those failures, but that's all part of the learning process. Everybody makes something that they're not so fond of that, they just chalk it up to experience. And that's what I would say, especially as somebody fairly new to mixing. But pay attention to these guys because they've been doing it a long time. And everybody's tastes are different, but they all cross over at some point. Yeah, Chris isn't a fruit guy, but he's even finding places where the fruit works for him because his PCCD, well, pears are fruit. And it's quite banging in that juice. So fruit doesn't have to be straight fruit, but everybody crosses over. So whether they like one thing or not, you're still somewhere in that line going to cross over with their likes, and you'll be able to get tips to help yours be the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Sifu? He's frozen again. Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
All right, great. Sorry, guys. I'm having the potatoes.
No, you're good.
All right, great. Super fun show, guys. Thanks for coming out. Look, my list is kind of exhaustive. I do that. So I can't help it. So pick a handful out of that list that I did and, just go with it. That's the thing with mixing. Just go for it. Just put some stuff in a bottle and get after it. Just put it in a bottle. Just, use the ELR, start with the medians, get after it. If you're not comfortable creating your own, find something you think we like, buy those concentrates, make it, then you'll start getting ideas. They'll start flowing.
Yep.
So just can't speak enough to how much everyone brings to this panel. Over Drip and Clown and Steve, being a new mixer and everything, they have different perspectives, and just a little piece, just a little nugget that you can hang on to and just roll. Just don't be afraid to do it. Just get in there and put something in a bottle. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you guys next week. Over Drip.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say, yeah, you guys put it really well. And Sifu, yeah, you did go a little bit over the top, but you know what? That's what partly why I love you. Like, there's many reasons, to be honest with you, but like, you make me think that I think too simple sometimes, which is probably true. And sometimes I have to put a little more thought into what I'm doing. So I appreciate you. That's one of the things that I appreciate.
Well, I'm prone to doing too much.
Yes,
it's been one of the things I struggled with.
You were kind of helping me realize that it is okay to put a little more thought into some things. So, like I said, that's one of the things I appreciate about you. And Steve, honestly, I'm still so pumped that like you're on the show, and like you said, you're so passionate, and it's not even been that long that you've been mixing, but I really enjoy like the little tidbits of insight that you're bringing. So like, it's fucking great. So hopefully everybody else is enjoying everything that's happening on the show, including, anybody that might happen to be a new mixer out there. I think that there has been a lot of tips tonight for everybody. If you've been mixing for, a day, a month, a year, 5 years, whatever, there's something that everybody can always grab from one of our episodes. And I'm not saying that because like our episodes are the greatest. I'm just saying that because we're just having real conversations. You guys just get to be, privileged to it. So I will say, everybody, don't be scared. If you guys ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. You can find any of us probably either on Facebook or Instagram or Discord or whatever. If you guys are working on something, that you guys are stuck on something and you're hoping to look for a suggestion, I'm sure that one of us has some level of experience that can help you with that. So don't ever be scared to do that. I really don't care if people send me like random questions about what concentrate's good for this or what concentrate's good for that. At the end of the day, all I'm doing is sharing my opinion and my experience. That's it. So that's not too much for me to do. Mm-hmm. As for what I do, I guess, in general, you guys can obviously check me out next Tuesday night at 8:00 on this channel. You should hit subscribe if you're not already. Also, you can check me out on Friday nights at the same time as this show for the Green Room. That's on Frames, Janklin Vapors YouTube channel. And then lastly, if you guys want to try any of my liquids, like PCCD or LCBC that Steve's got right there, or like, PBCC, I've been vaping that all day. I fucking love that. But anyways, if you guys want to try any of that, feel free. Use the coupon code Mixing It Up. You guys will be set after that, because I appreciate that this is a DIY mixing show and we're kind of preaching everybody should be able to DIY, but at the same time, I mean, you can help support a small business. It's also cool as well. I'm a huge fan of that. I like doing my shopping at small town grocery stores instead of going to Walmart, and I'm not judging people that do go to Walmart. Not everybody's in the position that they can afford to spend a few extra dollars every week, and I understand, but if you guys want to try any of my liquid, feel free. Like I said, Mixing It Up. And I think that that's everything. yeah, so I'm just gonna say everybody be safe, have a good week, and we'll catch you on the next one. Clown, take it away, sir.
All right. Yeah, hit up these fine gentlemen for any other wares. And as they've mentioned, and I will reiterate, do surround yourself with people that have experience. It'll save you a headache. And we are in an era where DIY is a lot easier than when I started, and I'm fully appreciative of it. Because I mean, right now, as soon as we finish this, you can head over to Fresh Out 3's channel and go check out their show that they got going on tonight. So, and I know he's going live because I already saw the post on my phone. So they're going to be doing their show. So there's just information there, like on that Google Doc that I put at the very bottom. There's suggested channels. You guys can go check those out, and there are other DIY shows that they put out and do their thing. So, you know, DIY is not as scary as you'd think it is. It's just taking the leap. That's just really the slow and skinny of it. Alrighty. And beyond that, if you guys are interested in any juice or coils that I make, hit me up. And I think this coming Sunday is the next episode of Codename Wired. So we're going to be doing that, see how the mothership coils turned out. And then I don't remember what tutorial we're doing this week, but I think we're getting into fuse Claptons, because we're doing like a tutorial per episode and trying to get through all that. And then I think that is it. All right, we'll catch y'all later. Have a good night. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.